with Ringsiders. And now, for the Grandmaster, Ben Simon.
Welcome to Ringsiders here on PartyAnimalRadio.com. I am Ben Simon, the Grandmaster, along with Mikey G, the Ringmaster. And today we are joined by a brand new member of our crew. Drew, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
All right, now Drew,
Introduce him by his full name, Mr. Drew Abbenhouse.
Abbenhouse, and I was just about to ask because I had heard it once, but you know it's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. I'm a German fellow, so me and Mr. Gordon have problems.
So the ladies know all about him being a mouthful, from what I understand.
Hey,
Slick monster over here.
Well, Drew, what are you going to be doing with us here on Ringsiders?
Well, today we have Ring of Honor Best in the World going on, and we'll be covering a little bit of that. And in the future, we'll be getting some interviews with people, different things. So we'll see.
So you'd be more of like a backstage interview correspondent,
if you will.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, well, every time that I see, I think of it more as like a Daily Show correspondent, because Jon Stewart is, he's pretty freaking entertaining, but the correspondent pieces are a little bit more in depth, a little bit, on a different level of comedy. So as far as, the wrestling related news goes, I think that's why Drew's such a good addition to our team.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
And, I first met Drew a while back. What was it, like a year and a half ago? You were hanging out with Brian Kelly of MWR.
That'll do it.
And full circle, here we are.
Here we are.
Oh, yeah.
So
there's just, you talk to guys that wrestle here, and people have so many interesting stories, and there's so many interesting people here that people don't really know about. So maybe we'll be able to bring a different side of the wrestlers and certain local MMA fighters and show them a side that people don't normally see.
Good.
Absolutely. I think that your different perspective is going to add to the team. So, plus, I've been trying to court you for a while now to join the team.
Oh,
I have.
Thank you.
I'm being honest. Well,
I should have held out for flowers or something.
Yeah. No, it's a great team being led by Ben Simon here, but I think more people on the team is just going to add more to the team.
Absolutely.
To the broadcast.
Grandmasters need many different pieces.
That's right.
Now, guys, we have a big show today, possibly one of our biggest ever. On the show today, we have the special guest host of the 1000 Raw party on July 23rd, put on by PartyAnimalRadio.com. I'm talking about Gillberg, Duane Gill, on the show today. And we'll be interviewing him at the top of the next hour.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll be talking about his years as a part of the WWF at the beginning of Raw, back in the early to mid-90s. His return, his second career, and so much more. And it should be a really good time. And also, because we do have this Ring of Honor Best in the World internet pay-per-view happening right now from New York.
Which, from what I understand, is going pretty smoothly on the internet broadcast.
Well, that is wonderful.
That is
a
great news for them.
Welcome change of pace after, the last 4 or 5 have not been viewable by many, many people. So this will add to their credibility, start to build it back up, and we wish Ring of Honor the best right now. And we're going to be kind of weaving in and out of the Best in the World card that's going on right now. And we hope to have some of the wrestlers on the card after their matches call in and give us a little update about their time in New York.
Yes, I have all but 100% confirmed Roderick Strong.
And he was a very entertaining interview when we had him on the last time.
Oh, yes, he was. I think he was in full party animal mode at that time. But tonight, he's got a huge match. It's a 3-way match for his TV title, correct? Him against Tommaso Ciampa and
Jay
Lethal.
Yeah.
Right.
And we've been seeing recently on Ring of Honor TV the collusion that has been happening between Truth Martini, who is the manager of Roderick Strong, and my favorite entity, the Embassy Limited, which of course led by Prince Nana and and Barrister R.D. Evans, and they are on the side of Tommaso Ciampa. Going to be very interesting tonight to see how that factors into that three-way match.
Right. So I've also contacted Prince Nana to join the show today as well.
He loves me.
Ben Simon's nemesis.
It's the most fire I've ever seen from Ben Simon in my life. Quite interesting. Drew, what is going on? And we got some results already.
Yep, we have a few matches that are already done. The first match was the Briscoe brothers taking on the Guardians of Truth, who, spoiler alert, headbangers underneath some masks, who actually go back to the Smoky Mountain days with Jim Cornette. So maybe no surprise that he used them.
Did Thrasher have a gut? Last time I saw him, Thrasher had quite the gut.
They're in a little bit better shape, but you know.
Okay, good.
They're older now, so what can you do?
Right.
The ropes were very loose in that match and was causing a little bit of problems, but I think they got that taken care of. You've also had Eddie Edwards versus Homicide. Homicide picking up the win with the Gringo Killer in a very good competitive match. You have to figure with Homicide getting the win, he'll probably be sticking around to Ring of Honor for a little while. So that's always a welcome surprise. Big fan of Homicide right here. And
I don't know about Homicide, honestly. I know a lot of backstory about Homicide.
Whenever they say, on Ring of Honor TV, we saw Homicide return this weekend, and with Kevin Kelly said, "Oh, the former world champion," just something doesn't click there. I'm a fair weather Homicide fan, but I don't understand why everyone's so hardcore with Homicide.
He's just he's the closest thing I think we have left to a New Jack kind of character that's just unpredictable, violent. You're never really sure what he's gonna do.
Okay, so side story real quick. I'm out with Evan Bourne last night. We were on Washington, and all of a sudden we're in this all urban. Oh, okay, we call it urban nightclub.
All urban.
It was all urban. Okay,
what does that mean?
It means majority black. Okay, let's be real. I just, I hate being non-PC on this show where we have three white guys sitting around talking about wrestling. You know what I'm saying? But all of a sudden, a Natural Born Killer comes on, and I'm like looking to jump on top of something, and we're like fucking acting like New Jack. It was pretty awesome. Pretty nice flashback.
I like it.
I love it.
Did you dive off of anything?
I almost did, but I didn't want to get lynched.
Fair enough.
For lack of a better term.
Which of course is being killed without a trial of your peers. So
fantastic. And one more match. We've had the Adam Cole.
The fucking dictionary over here. You gotta love it.
The dictionary. Emphasis on dick.
Hey now.
Heyo. And we also had Kyle O'Reilly taking on Adam Cole in a hybrid fighting rules, where they kind of adapted some MMA sort of stuff. You could win by knockout, submission, or if it could go to a draw. So Adam,
MMA rules match.
I
like this.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
Interesting indeed.
Adam Cole picked up the win in a pretty hard-hitting match, which saw him actually get several teeth knocked out and get pretty bloodied up from the mouth. So
several teeth knocked out.
Several teeth knocked out. That's the problem. You want to incorporate MMA into wrestling, you might get your teeth knocked out.
That's unfortunate.
Or you might have a Brock Lesnar cut a big gash in your head or punch you in the mouth. You have to be careful with these guys.
Mm-hmm. And we're still, I don't even think we're halfway through this event. If you would like to see it, go to rohwrestling.com and check it out.
You gotta love it. That's right. I'm over here avidly texting. I'm trying to set up as many guests as possible for Ring of Honor. So
good. Hey, you had mentioned you were out with Mr. Evan Bourne, the high flyer superstar.
I was. I'd like to give you a full update on his health. He's nursing his foot back to normal. He's out of the walking cast, out of the walking boot, walking with a little bit of a noticeable limp. Mm-hmm. But as far as one thing that I'm really proud about, is I'm going to be very candid here. With his documented problems, it's easy to fall back into old habits, once, things start getting back to normal. But I'm very proud to say that as a good friend and as a fan of wrestling, that I'm glad that he's got his act on totally straight. It's awesome to see a rebirth of somebody, who evidently had a few demons that he had to get rid of, and I'm glad that he did. I'm happy to see that.
A tough time the last few months. A lot of people just think it was a random kind of run-of-the-mill injury, but he had complications. I believe he had a bone infection, which required all sorts of antibiotics and follow-ups, so not an easy recovery.
I don't know how his WWE contract would allow for it, but I would love to have that guy on this show.
I've been trying to bait him all weekend. I've been like, yo, I'm actually even texting him over here right now. I'm like, yo, we got the show going on today, and then, I'm barbecuing over at my parents' house. But, no, what's really cool is he came in for a wedding this weekend, and we were able to go out Friday night for a little bit, and then last night we closed all the bars down in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Bit of a side story here, if you have time to tell it, is Mr. Bourne and yourself are the two youngest people in the state to ever get your wrestling license.
That is absolutely right. He was the first person under 18, and I was 2 months behind him.
Did you guys have to lie about it, or did they just do it?
No. He opened the door. He opened the door here. It was a monumental day in the Wrestling Athletic Commission. Still, whatever. State Athletic Commission.
The MOA, the Missouri Office of Athletics.
There you go.
Chairman Tim Lukenhoff. I've said that a million times.
Right. There you go.
Still
but sometimes. He was the first person under 18, and I was the second. And
Trailblazers.
You know what happened after that? I mean, look, he became a semi-known professional wrestler, and I become a huge radio star.
Semi-known.
I'm just totally,
semi-known.
He's actually the superstar, and
he can go higher. We all know. I mean, how high can Evan Bourne fly?
Well, what's really awesome is the two guys that I started in the wrestling business with, but just joking around and shit, was Delirious and Evan Bourne, and look where those assholes are. Mm-hmm. No, I'm just kidding. I love those guys. those are my aces.
Bitter old Mike.
Yeah. No, Delirious is coming back in town in August, so maybe we'll have a Delirious stop in to the show.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get a few words out of him.
I don't think so. No, he does know a lot of Bone Thugs and Harmony song, though.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So, there was a lot of fights going on this weekend, guys. Did you catch any of them on TV?
I watched what I could. There was huge events. I've done 5-6 days in a row live broadcasting.
Are you
out at events? No. I've been trying to keep a social life.
My God.
A very active social life.
Yes. The UFC had a very rare event. Event by two events. This past weekend, back to back, Friday and Saturday. On Friday night, they were at Revel Atlantic City for an FX card, headlined by Clay the Carpenter Guida and Gray the Bully Maynard. Drew, you were kind of having some words about this one, huh?
What a disappointment that was. Those are two guys, and Clay Guida especially. Everybody knows Clay Guida can be a monster when he wants to, but instead he chose to take this 25 minutes to show off his cardio and run circles around Gray Maynard.
He was a really cool dude, too. Clay Guida. Awesome dude to party with. I went to his after party in Memphis, and he's a really cool guy. I took a piss, and then I was like, oh my God, Clay Guida. And he's like, hey, man, wash your hands first. I was like, yeah, I'm hammered. I'm sorry about that.
Wow. You party with everyone.
Huh?
You party with everyone, Mike.
Well, no. I paid to go to his after party. I don't know him or anything.
All right.
No. Sorry. Do I brag a lot? Does it sound like I brag?
But I think you deserve to, though.
I don't mean to sound like I brag.
Hey,
I'm just like, hey, this
I was
happened.
just at the after party with Clay Guida.
I went to his, because I paid. Anybody could pay. You could pay. You'd be like, I partied with Clay Guida. I almost shook his hand after I peed all over mine.
Nice.
So what could have happened?
Well, I'm glad for you. Well, Drew, I agree with you. This main event, Guida and Maynard, it looked great on paper. You had, according to Fight Magazine, number 8, number 9 contenders in the world in the lightweight division. And it was a toss-up. I was going for Guida myself, but for 5 rounds, that's all it was Guida was just dancing around. He was very light on his feet, and he was pissing Gray Maynard off.
Indeed, there was a spot in the 4th round where Gray Maynard just kind of dropped his hand, stood right in front of him, and said, "Just hit me, bring it on, let's fight." And
then Maynard almost won with the guillotine. Remember that? He
Indeed.
pulled him down. and was like, "Oh my God, this is going to be a so in-your-face moment." But no, it didn't happen.
Yeah. Didn't happen. Gray Maynard's going to be somebody to look out for. He's left his old training camp. He's been working with new people. He spent time down in Brazil with Nova União. So Gray Maynard, maybe one-dimensional in the past. He's sharpening his tools. And he's getting much, much better. But no, Clay Guida's a beast. His fight with Diego Sanchez is one of my favorites of all time. And this fight with Gray Maynard should have been fireworks, should have been a fight of the year, and the only reason it wasn't is because one of the guys wasn't interested in fighting.
And Gray, the Bully Maynard, picks up the win by split decision. I thought it was very close myself. Both men were doing their own thing. Guida wasn't very fan-friendly, but Maynard says up next for him, he wants either the former champ, Frankie Edgar, or current champ, Benson Henderson, for the title. So we look forward to seeing that for sure.
I would love to see Gray Maynard and Ben Henderson. I have zero interest in another Frankie Edgar fight. Those two held up the lightweight division for too long. Let's move on, please.
I'm with you, totally. In the featherweight division, a fight that was not seen on FX, but rather the undercard, but I have to mention it was a big upset. In the featherweight division, it was Hatsuhikoki, the Japanese sensation, number 2 in the featherweights, going up against Ricardo Lamas from the United States of America, as Lenny Hart would say. And Lamas wins by decision, so congratulations to him and all of the American elite fighters. Japanese MMA is kind of going down the toilet, isn't it?
It doesn't seem like they're quite as well-rounded as everybody. They're learning, they're sharpening up on the wrestling and stuff like that, but I think they're a few years behind. The Japanese aren't used to cutting weight. That's a bit of a hindrance. They're coming around. But what's interesting about that fight is that Hatsuhikoki was actually offered a title shot against Jose Aldo, which he declined because he did not think he was ready for it. Maybe he was right. He lost the fight, but just an interesting discussion could be had about whether or not to pass up on title shots when they're given to you. And
well, yeah, 2020 hindsight, it's much better to lose to Aldo than Lamas.
Absolutely. And you never know with MMA. That's why it's so amazing. Once you get in the cage, one kick to the head, one punch, one, a triangle, a guillotine out of nowhere, a fight's over. So you never know. Shouldn't sell yourself short.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see where Hioki falls in the mix of things when all is said and done. Also on the card, in the welterweight division, Brian Ebersol was able to get rid of T.J. Waldberger. And Waldberger almost pulled off an upset, I think, a couple times in that fight, but Ebersol gets the victory. Now, last night it was UFC 147, Silva versus Franklin 2 from Brazil, the card we've been waiting for months. I mean, my God, it seems like we've been talking about this one for a year. And it turned out, the end card turned out nothing like it originally was, with Vitor now off of it. But Rich Franklin steps in. He fought Wanderlei Silva. Now, here's where it gets weird. I don't know, did you see this card, Drew? Because I only saw half of it. I did not have enough time to see all of it.
I saw clips of it. I did not watch the whole fight, I must say.
One thing I did see was the fight that I was really looking forward to in the heavyweight division, Fabricio Verdum against Mike Russo. And I didn't know, Russo has kind of a weird-shaped body. I didn't know he was shaped like that, honestly. I thought he was more muscular.
The pear-shaped Mike Russo.
Yeah, exactly.
He was undefeated before this fight, actually. So
That's true.
Crazy.
He was really taking a step up, though, in competition for sure. This is his toughest opponent I think he's ever met.
Absolutely. The only reason that fight happened, Fabricio Verdum really wanted to fight in Brazil. It hadn't happened in a long time, and he pretty much took whoever was ready. So that ended up being Mr. Russo.
Mm-hmm. Verdum ends up with the back of Russo with hammer fist, I guess you would call him, to the side of Russo's head, and the referee calls a stop to it in the very first round. So it's going to be interesting to see where the former world champion lands after this. Can he prove himself to be in the elite with the likes of Overeem, who will return next year, the likes of Junior Dos Santos and Cain Velasquez? I don't know. He has a ways to work to get back on top.
I think that's next for him. I don't know who they have in their heavyweight division that would be next in line after Cain Velasquez and Junior Dos Santos meet again, but I'm not. I love Fabricio Verdum. He is an amazing Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner who's been working on his stand-up actually quite a bit, and it's much improved.
Stand-up comedy?
He may be doing that as well. But I'm still I'm not quite convinced that he can hang with the A-listers. We'll see. I'd like to be proven wrong. I really like that guy.
So what do you think? What do you guys think about Rich Franklin after this with the decision win? Is that what you're saying?
I did not see that fight. I didn't see the main event.
Who? Yeah. Okay. So he won with the decision win. He's saying he's eyeing a title fight in the 185-pound division. Does he deserve it?
No, not yet. Because I wouldn't put Vanderlei or Franklin before this fight in the top 10. Maybe you could put.
You're saying top 10 of middleweights?
Middleweights.
Really?
No.
That's debatable.
Well, okay. Some people might
top 10.
Top 10 in the
Okay.
middleweight division.
All right.
I wouldn't put them there. Just outside of it, you could put one of them there now, Franklin, but ready for Silva, or ready for Sonnen after Sonnen beat Silva up.
Yes, that's right. That is gonna happen.
I don't.
A late birthday present for me.
I don't think he's ready. No. Rich Franklin is a legend, but you got to be in the present right now, and he's not on top.
Yeah, that fight didn't do much.
Yeah, so
for
is
me.
Babe Ruth's a fucking legend. He's dead.
Oh, well, okay, I'm not going that far. Franklin.
Just because you're doesn't mean it doesn't. Don't you get your TNA Legends ring after you're old and like your nipples start pointing to the ground? Like, isn't that when you're a legend usually?
Legend, has been, they're interchangeable.
Has been just sounds so derogatory. Like that's you're a has been. Oh well, yeah. Well, I don't like you either.
So how was Silva fighting? I mean, this was in Brazil, and the decision I'm reading right here, 49-46 across the board for Franklin. I mean, there's got to be massive disappointments for that main event.
Well, Vanderlei Silva looked good. He looked better than I think he has in a while. He had an amazing round 2. Looked great. He took some great shots and kept going.
In the mouth?
Right in the mouth, actually. That is where the shots landed. But, Vanderlei's had a suspect chin for a few years, and I think he's proved that may not be quite an issue. It's just Rich Franklin is one step ahead all the time. He's a little quicker. He's a little faster to the punches. Good fight, but it was a fight that win or lose, it doesn't do anything for either one of those guys. None of them are going to be champions again, and I don't know. It was a last minute.
Drew, what did you say? Like the most uneventful pay-per-view you ever seen in your life?
It was not great. The main event was what it was.
I mean, you can say whatever you want on here. Like it's not like Dana White's listening. He's gonna come to your
They're
house.
not paying us yet.
Right.
But, the Fabricio Verdum fight was interesting. But other than that, the two main fights on the card were the finals of the first season of The Ultimate Fighter, which was in the first season of Ultimate Fighter from Brazil, which is just starting to air in this country. So they had the finals of this tournament, which on American television we're
Spoiler
about
alert.
2 weeks into now. So I avoided those fights on purpose, actually, because I'm trying to watch it on television, and they tried to screw me over.
They didn't. You didn't let them screw you.
I did not.
No.
I turned my back.
Speaking of screwing people, last week, No Way Out. What'd you guys think of the pay-per-view?
Yeah,
was
nothing. No titles changed hands.
Uneventful. The word of the day.
I was pretty damn good on the predictions again. I have kind of a knack for that.
All right, I brag about hanging out with fucking A-list stars, and he's over here bragging about doing that. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Fantastic.
We're all braggers.
Yes, as we were talking about, this pay-per-view was No Escape in Germany because of No Way Out.
My mom loved that, by the way, because I went over there for Father's Day dinner last week.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Mom, guess what? The Jews over in Germany don't like it. This was called Elimination Chamber right before WrestleMania, so they changed it to No Way Out. So this one's No Escape. What do you think about that? She goes, that's worse than No Way Out. if that's what you're trying to at least with No Escape, like No Way Out. There might still be a way out, but No Escape, like you're definitely not going to escape. I don't know.
Well, maybe next year for the 2013 calendar, if WWE retains both Elimination Chamber and No Way Out pay-per-views, then in Germany they should just leave No Way Out, and just change Elimination Chamber to No Escape. That's probably what they'll end up doing because it's simpler. It's like math,
Right.
Just simplify.
Right. You're not stealing from Peter to pay Paul. It's
Yes.
kind of what they're doing on that one.
Yes.
So you guys thought uneventful? Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It was.
It
all
wasn't
right.
bad.
The
No.
only thing personally I was interested in was the AJ love triangle saga. That's a little interesting.
What a whore.
What a whore.
What a whore.
I know at
dirty little
least 5
whore.
girls just like that. Is that weird?
What's
there's,
that?
There's so many girls like that.
Stringing
like
3
AJ.
guys along at the same time.
Yes.
At the
Indeed.
same damn time. Check it out. I don't let girls do that. You got to play that back on them.
How do you play that back on?
Mikey G strings them along.
No.
Give us
got this.
a lesson, Mike.
I'm not giving anybody. I don't know. I'm learning everything day by day. First of all, but you just can't like. I was just looking at that, and I saw shit like that happen when I was in high school, and like since then, which that was many moons ago. But where girls would just string along like 2 or 3 guys at once. Like it was funny because I wouldn't get tied up in that shit, but it was hilarious when I would see guys, and I'd be like, dude, she's playing all you guys. Well, yeah, but like no. However good it is, somebody does it way better. I promise. Mm-hmm. And that's true.
I will admit, I fell for that once upon a time as well. 4 years ago. It was awful. I fell for an AJ.
Ben Simon, I will never let that happen to you again.
Thanks, man.
I'm keeping up on your love life.
We're such good friends.
That's nice.
All right.
I'll never let that happen to you again, Ben.
Anyway, back to old NWO 2012.
Right. Great pay-per-view.
Did anyone think Ziggler was going to beat Sheamus?
No. Not even Ziggler's mom bet on Sheamus.
That's what happened.
I read that.
All right. I mean, I didn't even think Cody Rhodes stood a chance against Christian. Cody Rhodes is not believable to beat Christian, I think, at this point. Cody Rhodes is WWE's version of Bully Ray. He's there and people perceive him as being a challenge, but he never wins, like ever.
Is that true?
He's the Christian of 8 years ago, you could say.
Right.
Wait, 2004? Oh, I guess you were
Be-
right. Yeah.
before.
Just floating around. Here's a mid-card belt.
Don't fuck with Drew when it comes to dates, because he's the one that gave me the Mike Tyson info. Remember the day that I was smarter than Ben Simon?
Yes. You know what? I thought I didn't know that was him. I thought that was another Drew that gave you that info.
There's only one Drew.
Well, that's
we
totally
need to
not
know
true.
about here.
Wait, isn't the guy who's at the station who's like a cult leader that I was referring to? That's Drew.
That's
too.
true. He actually wants to join the show today, and I was like, "No, dude, we're talking wrestling."
We're
He's like,
gonna
"Come
have
on."
so many Drews.
That would mess me up.
I'm not in for that. Bad heat.
Surprisingly, Layla dispatched of Beth Phoenix relatively easily.
I thought that
at the
was
end
bullshit.
And retained the women's championship of the world. I mean, what do you think of this former Miami Heat cheerleader? Is she the real deal yet to you guys?
No.
Me neither.
No. Well, she was out for such a long time, though, so, like, she was out for, like, a year, right?
She was out for a long time. I don't remember the exact time.
So I think they had something going with her because they had her going with the Undertaker's wife. What's her name?
Michelle McCool.
Yeah, her.
You know her more as the Undertaker's wife than Michelle McCool.
Yeah.
That is how
I still to this day have not watched 5 full episodes of SmackDown ever. And that's all she ever wrestled on.
It's been on since '99. You really haven't.
I am not bullshitting you right now. I have not watched 5 full episodes of SmackDown ever. Ever. I don't think I've watched more than 3.
It's a good show.
Well, I mean,
better than Raw, arguably, if you're a wrestling fan.
Think about it though. I mean, like, it's on a Friday night. Come on.
Yeah, it's really awful.
I'm not,
I have nothing to do on Friday.
Well,
so I sit home with my dog and watch SmackDown.
Well, no.
Oh God, that's so sad.
Isn't it?
No, you got DVR. Like, if I really wanted to watch it, I would tape it and watch it. But it just, I don't know. It always gave me a bad taste in my mouth because it was always like the B show. Mm-hmm. Like, it's never been even like, it's always been the C show.
Mm-hmm. Well, something I want to also bring up was Ryback. Also dispatched of 2 local competitors, as WWE says, Dan Delaney and Rob Grimes. And after the match, he said, "Bring me 3 or feed me 3." Is Ryback versus 3 local competitors something that you would like to see just for the novelty of it?
Yes.
All right.
How many times have you seen 3-on-1?
It's been a while. Well, from this perspective, there was.
I've never seen 3-on-1.
We see 3
We're
on
talking
1 all the
about
time.
wrestling,
John
so,
Cena
yes.
versus like John Laurinaitis and 2 cronies. It happens every week.
What? A 3-on-1. A 3-on-1.
John Cena's had to go against 3 opponents.
It happens all
at
the
a single time.
Mike.
No way. Really? Do I just not watch wrestling that much?
I guess it's usually some sort of.
We didn't.
It's
say
like a 4-way
gauntlet
match.
thing,
It's a 4-way match or some shit.
No,
Like,
wait.
It's never like a 3-on-1 handicap match.
No, it is.
Sure. Didn't they just recently do John
guys,
Laurinaitis and Big Show and Tonga, I believe?
Okay,
versus Cena?
Exactly, Drew.
Yes.
We know what we're talking about, Mike.
I don't know that.
There is
that's
a
true.
misunderstanding here. You said 3-on-1. When do you get to see that? I said yes. Right. Not from this perspective. Not this kind. We've seen 3-on-1 all the time. It's usually John Cena on the one side, but it's usually like a tag or something. So this is very unique.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what I was saying.
We can all agree.
I can all agree. Right.
Okay,
Right. I can agree
great.
with that.
Excellent.
Right. Ben Simon's like, man, I don't get stoned. Why you stoners don't just listen to me? I don't fucking know. What the hell?
Good time.
You guys see the tuxedo match?
No.
I think I was making a sandwich during the time.
No, in fact, I got up to use the bathroom during that one and watched the women's match.
Oh, well, it's a good alternative.
Right.
Santino Marella was able to strip Ricardo Rodriguez in a technical masterpiece, and Rodriguez was wearing Alberto Del Rio underwear. Everybody laugh. Oh, ha, ha, ha.
Of course he was.
Yes. CM Punk defeated Kane and Daniel Bryan. Speaking of yes. It was a triple threat for the WWE Championship.
Good match.
Yeah, it was.
The only match that was worth it.
And
My
AJ
opinion.
didn't get too involved. All she did was get knocked from the apron,
They've been stringing me along with this AJ business. I'm another one of AJ's string victims. There's been about 4 times I figured they'd have the payoff for that. And well, here's where we figure out, is AJ with Daniel Bryan? Is she with Kane? What's going on here? But they make me wait. It's the long con.
John Cena was able to best Big Show in the steel cage match, and according to stipulations, no swerving here, Vince McMahon came down and fired John Laurinaitis from his position. Now, John Laurinaitis is still a WWE superstar, as it were, but he is not in charge, and he is not the executive vice president of talent relations, and he's not the general manager of Raw and SmackDown. But yes, we still have to put up with him. In the interim, though, we'll be having former GMs and commissioners and WWE figureheads back each week to host Raw and SmackDown. This past week it was Mick Foley. Not too eventful, but it was nice to see Mick back on WWE TV.
So, as always.
Indeed. Sin Cara defeated Unico in what used to be a veritable feud, and now it is a squash. Unico cannot be Sin Cara. You must be kidding me. Titus O'Neil and Darren Young stepping it up in the tag team ranks. Drew, I feel like you have something to say on this. They won the 4-way at the pay-per-view.
Well, that's what happens when you're worth millions of dollars. I actually like Titus and who? You've already got me.
Darren Young.
Darren Young
the guy
and Titus
who used to have the
O'Neil.
hair.
Absolutely. The guy that used to look like the trolls you used to put on the end of your pencils.
Yes.
Good times. I like it. They got matching gear. They have a few tandem maneuvers. I like they've added AW to the little stable, and I think we will see the tag team belts.
That's
all
racist,
them
though. It's 3 black
sooner
guys,
than
right?
later.
Well, and speaking of black guys, Shad Gaspard, I'm sure you guys heard of this. He claimed on probably Twitter that they were just a ripoff of Crime Time. Do you agree with that? I mean, yeah, they're black guys. Yeah, they do like little dances in the ring, and they talk about money.
Let me just say this right now: is that
And they're black.
Is that there is not any innovation in the world for that much for the most part. It's all imitation, regurgitation. I could use more tations, but there's nothing new. There's nothing new. So everything's an imitation.
You know what? And I'll tell you who else is an imitation of Crime Time is Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas. You know why?
Because they were the
black.
first black team, right?
That's right.
And any tag team who thinks they can come in and be black are just a ripoff of Crime Time.
Absolutely. Well, that's actually true. Tony Atlas told me a story about Time Machine and it's convoluted.
Yeah, it's all BS.
They did. They stole that from Crime
And look
Time.
where Shad is, and look where JTG is. Shame. Well, I mean, I guess we covered all the pay-per-view. I mean, we went down all the matches. Let's take a break. And still coming up on the show.
I'm waiting to hear Duane Gill, Gillberg, for sure, 100% at the top of the 6 o'clock hour. 25 minutes away. Still waiting to hear after matches from Jay Briscoe, who's done with his match, and Prince Nana and Roderick Strong, also potential guests. Whoever is going to be done with their match, not hurt, and and ready to do an interview before we're off the air at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time.
And we've been in this position before. Remember, it was the 10th anniversary show, I think, back on March 4th. These guys, I mean, on the day of a major supercard like this, it's very tough to get these guys in line, even for a scheduled interview.
You don't even know what you're going to get.
Fast-paced.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest days of the year for these guys, so busy day.
Indeed. So, yeah, check out that pay-per-view if you can. Drew, any new results from that?
The only update I have is just a correction. Adam Cole's teeth were not knocked out.
Well, thank God.
If you care enough, there's a picture online floating around. He's got a nasty gash right above his lip, and he had to get a bunch of stitches. But
That's what happens when you bring MMA, like real fighting, into fake fighting.
There it is.
Right.
But no teeth knocked out.
Right on. Well, we'll be right back here on the number one show for MMA, wrestling, and boxing on the number one underground radio station on the planet, PartyAnimalRadio.com. This is Ringsiders.
And only in the Christian religion could those two things combine. I can't imagine a Jewish wrestling.
Facial hair, everything needs to be just right. Growing these out anymore makes me look like my dad in the 70s. Man.
Trim, shave, edge with the Gillette Fusion Pro Glide Styler.
Every bit of hair means something.
Chael Sonnen is the undisputed king of trash talk in the UFC, and his number one target is middleweight champ Anderson Silva. With a possible July rematch on the horizon, Chael came to us with a special request in this latest installment of Chael's Corner. I've taken the time to write Anderson Silva a letter. UFC Tonight has afforded me a few moments to share it with him. I wrote this myself. Anderson, over the last several months, I have disparaged your name in an attempt to garner respect and attention for my own. That was wrong, and I apologize. My actions were unsportsmanlike, they were uncalled for. Though they weren't mean-spirited, I do regret them. As you know, I've recently become the #1 contender, which is a position that respectfully and immediately I am resigning from. I wish no further confrontation with you in the octagon or through the media. In short, I surrender. Signed, your friend, Chael P. Summer. P.S. I changed my mind. Anderson, you kiss my ass. Include the obnoxious laugh.
UFC tonight, Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on Pure TV.
We are back on Ringsiders on PartyAnimalRadio.com.
Welcome back to Ringsiders. This is Ben Simon, the Grandmaster, Mikey G, the Ringmaster, and Drew.
We're just a bunch of masters.
That's right.
Indeed, we need a nickname for you.
I like to call myself the Grand Ringmaster.
Like the Grand Burning Ring of Fire
Well,
Master.
That may not work.
We can call you the Master Baiter.
Fair enough.
The Grandmaster, the Ringmaster, and the Master Baiter.
That'll work for this week.
I can't pump that in a ring at independent wrestling cards.
That doesn't work.
We might.
I
have
can't.
We're like the fabulous
And as the
Freebirds.
masturbator, I also cannot pump it in the ring.
Right.
In front.
You cannot. Well, you shouldn't. There is this federation over in Ireland or Scotland or something that's like all adult themed. You know about that?
Let's book them.
So it's just
Get 'em here.
live sex, yeah.
Yeah? Live sex, eh?
Where do the Canadians come from?
Well, anyway.
I don't know. We're just pumping them in there. So it's our favorite segment of the year.
Thank God. Wait, of the year?
The whole year.
Of the whole year.
Well, I mean,
What's your favorite segment of ever, Ben Simon?
of ever? I don't know. That's a tough one. Probably the Jay Briscoe interview. You know, in a perfect world, Mr. Briscoe. would
No,
be
I'm
one
talking
of the
about
stars.
what's your favorite like recurring segment on the show. There's only one.
Okay.
I know
well,
the
since
answer,
you're
and I'm
fishing
new
for
here.
it, I'll say it. Good Heat or X-Pac Heat.
No, it's Mikey G's corner.
What?
Come on, I knew that.
What the hell are you talking about, Mikey G's corner?
Oh man, I don't know what is going on with this shit. It is not good.
Do you need me to play something, or is it with a problem with the board?
No, it's just bullshit. I don't know. It's sounding like crap. I think it's like just through this thing though that I don't know. I'll get it worked out better another time. At another time.
All right.
So,
Well,
yeah, it's
you know
Good
what?
Heat or X-Pac. We're just gonna do X-Pac music a cappella today. That's what I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Boom.
Also, chat with us. PartyAnimalRadio.com.
Yeah,
Chat
most
room.
of us are on there. Meaning I was the last time I looked. Are you on there now?
We usually have for this show. All the other shows have a great chat presence. For this show, not so much. Don't understand why. We've got plenty of people chatting with us on Facebook, but we want to unify it so everyone can chat with everyone, and it's not just, a single stream, going one direction.
Yeah, so like people can get out there and keep drumming up conversation while we're on here doing the show,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
All right, so Good Heat, X-Pac Heat. Drew, do you know what Good Heat, X-Pac Heat is?
Oh, I know all about
You know all about it. Okay, so we'll just jump right into it. First one, Fedor had a big win over in Russia, I guess over the weekend, I assume, and announces his retirement from MMA. Good Heater. This is going to be a Terry Funk, Ric Flair situation. Good Heat, X-Pac Heat. Fedor retires.
Fedor is retired from MMA. He might still fight Sambo or play Sambo or whatever the term is they use. I know they play judo. That's the correct term. It's weird, but I don't think he's gonna fight MMA again because what he says is what happens. He seems like a real man of his word.
Absolutely.
So he's done.
Yep.
He's done ski.
Big Fedor fan right here, and it's a sad day. Sad heat. is the answer to this question.
Sad heat.
It's an interesting time in MMA. Tito Ortiz is talking about retiring after his next fight. Fedor recently retired. There were rumors if Vanderlei Silva didn't do very well in this fight that might have been it for him. So there's an era of mixed martial arts that's dying off right now, and it's kind of sad.
Well, okay, let's look at it like this. What more can Fedor accomplish? He has been at the top. He was at the top for 7 years, and then he got knocked off. He lost 3 in a row, last to Dan Henderson. And, that's when the string ended. And he came back, and I think with today's heavyweight landscape, he's not going to get a better final career win than like Pedro Hizo.
Right. So there's not somebody that's like he could go out there and like, oh, boom, win, out. Like in wrestling, it's all, from what I understand, it's always customary to like almost lose your last match to hand it over, to pass the torch, so to say.
Yeah.
But in MMA, totally different. You don't really want to go out on a losing note.
No,
right?
and like I said, Pedro Hizo, yeah. But as far as, let's see, who's probably the top MMA heavyweight who's not in the UFC? Probably Cole Conrad, the Bellator title holder.
I would agree with that, but he has a lot of work to do.
Yeah. See, like they have all the heavyweights.
I guess there's the Strikeforce guys too that haven't technically been brought over yet, but they are Zuffa employees.
Zuffa, yeah, I should have said Zuffa, yeah. But I mean,
so good heat that he retires.
Good heat for him because I don't think he can't get to the top. I mean, he's top 10 right now, but he can't reach it.
There's nothing left for those guys to do. All the people that I've mentioned, everybody when they're on their way out, whether it be Chuck Liddell, Rampage, Vanderlei Silva, Fedor, Minotauro, Nogueira, all these guys. It's still fun to watch, but they're not performing at their top levels, so it's unlikely that any of these guys will ever even.
It's like watching Hogan after he leaves WC or after he leaves WWF.
I would be sad comparing Fedor to Hulk Hogan, but I understand the comparison and it's fairly accurate.
Fedor, I mean, we're talking about the lineal heavyweight champion of the world for 7 years, and this was when the best heavyweights in the world were in Pride, which is where he was. And, he would jump to these different promotions as they were dying off, and I once put together I was once bored at my old IT job, and I put together the spreadsheet with different wins and everything, and through Fedor's career. He'd be like the holder, if all these companies were still in business, he'd be the holder of like 6 different heavyweight titles, but like they're not there.
Absolutely.
So, but he was the man. What's he gonna do? Win a title and hold on to it for another 7 years? No, it's time to go. Good heat that he's retiring, and I loved watching him when he was fighting.
And honestly, if he was never going to come to the UFC and at least try to make an impact there, what is there left for him to do? So he's got kids. He's a very simple guy. And I don't think Fedor was able to really evolve with the sport. He was a guy that never really brought in new people, never switched camps, never did anything like that, and expected to be the best in the world just with what got him there in 2002, 3?
Yeah,
4?
March 16th, 03. And when that's when he beat Nogueira in Japan. And when he finished off Hizo in this fight, wasn't it like a big right hand? I think I saw that.
Absolutely. It was pretty much a
and he
punch.
just like dropped him. It was an excellent end to an entire career, Don't try to make it better.
Works for me. And Fedor's got friends, It wouldn't have surprised me to see him even do government type stuff. Vladimir Putin, actually, and Fedor have been known to be pals. Maybe not pals, but Vladimir Putin also a big sambo guy.
Mikey, what do you think of this? Good heat, X-Pac heat?
Good heat.
All right.
I totally agree with you guys. I can't disagree. Fedor, incredible career. Way to go out. Big right hand. Boom. Next up, Sabu returning without medical clearance, evidently, to the Extreme Reunion next weekend, scheduled for a couple of matches. Going from being dead to resurrected to now he's fighting again. Good heat or X-Pac heat. Talking about somebody who kind of needed to hang it up. Huge fan of Sabu. I would like to say that he is a friend-ish. He's an acquaintance.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think it's time for Sabu to hang up. Is it good heat or X-Pac heat that he is on these shows? We're making some noise. X-Pac heat on that one.
Is the soundbite playing, Mike?
The soundbite was playing. Yeah, we got it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got it working again. That's
All right.
what this whole thing is. If you heard some moving going on in the background, I was, rearranging the studio to make this shit work. That's what a producer does.
Yes, indeed it is. No, I mean, first of all, the Extreme Reunion is just farcical in itself. But, I mean, who wants to go see this? And who wants to see Sabu at this point, Like, I mean, Drew, am I way off base here? What do you think?
I don't know. I think a lot of the ECW fans, a lot of the fans that are going to go to this event are kind of stuck in 1998 with Sabu. So,
96.
96? That's probably more accurate, isn't it? And, what else is Sabu going to do with himself? I mean, if that dude calls it a day, what's that dude going to do with his time? So, it's the only thing he knows, so it's the only thing he can really do. But, the last time Shane Douglas had an event, Sabu almost died. Just Incredible had to basically get kicked out of there because he's passing out in a chair before the thing. And Axel Rotten almost kills himself on the way home, running into a tree or something or another. Who has retired and since unretired, by the way, for all you Axel Rotten fans out there.
Yeah, I remember it. Like, one day I saw that he had retired, and then 2 days later I was like, oh, he's not retired.
If we had a wrestling death pool, which I really think we should get going here on this show, is that we should all put $1 in for each. We should each get to pick 10 wrestlers that are gonna die, and then now is that sinister?
That's a little morbid, but I would go down for. I would go down for it. I would be down for it.
Put it on the site.
Ben Simon always going.
See, this is going. This happened again. Yeah, I hate
all
this.
these Freudian slips. He's like, I'll go down on that.
Yikes. Ben Simon going down on the dead wrestlers.
At least I'm not
times.
talking about strapping anything on or
Right.
whatever.
Oh, he was like, strap on and strap in,
I
or
meant to
strap
say
on and
strap
get in.
It's going to be a hell of a ride, and it got worse and worse.
Yeah, and then he's like, my strap on gives dudes a hell of a ride.
No, I did not say that. It wasn't that bad.
It's like your mouth was falling down the steps.
Yes.
Good times.
It was right after talking about Larry Matuzik, too. So I hope he was listening.
It was like, strap on and strap it up, baby.
As much as we love Larry Matuzik here, it's not like that.
Jumping back on topic,
friends,
though. Sabu, good heat, X-Pac heat.
X-Pac heat, get out of here. Don't die. Don't die on Shane Douglas's dime. Nobody wants that. Also, Matt Hardy's going to be on that card.
Yeah, I read that.
Well, we can put him in the death pool. Actually, let's just take everyone on the card and put them in the death pool.
That's what we should do. Extreme Reunion Death Pool.
I like it.
Now
put it on the site.
It's not working again. What the hell? I'm done with this bullshit today. It's just pissing me off. Goldberg.
Yeah, I'll tell you who I think is going to be dead in 5 years or less. Is not any legend or extreme
Vince McMahon
reunionite. No, Rob Terry.
Why do you say that?
Look at the guy. He's freakish.
At least 60% of that mass is made up of chemicals of various kinds, I would imagine.
Yes, and he is a horrible wrestler as well.
Wow.
Who local wrestler LMC recently had a match against.
Yes.
I understand.
What?
So, LMC versus Rob Terry.
In
Who won?
OVW. Well, I think we could guess that it was Rob Terry.
Why would we even talk about that? We shouldn't talk about things like that when LMC gets in there. If he finally gets into a match, he's got, we'll talk about when he does good things, not faces the fucking genetic freak, Rob Terry.
I figured Rob Terry would be the underdog.
Well, she should be.
Which way did he go?
Which way did he go? All right, so topic number 3. When the UFC has these subpar pay-per-views, as we've seen a lot, what should they cancel events? When the card just basically falls apart. Look at what the card could have been. I know this one was in Brazil, so the live attendance, was kind of saved. But correct me if I'm wrong. The majority of their money, and I'm talking about the main event fighters, is made on the pay-per-view buys. So should they just cancel big events like this or reschedule them? Or, going by the promoter's standpoint with wrestling, you can always get somebody to fill that role, and make the storyline work, and you can make it almost make sense. But hey, if your card's falling apart like this, should you cancel or postpone?
So in what way can we frame this so that it's good heat or X-Pac heat?
Is it good heat or X-Pac heat that UFC still goes on with these subpar pay-per-views with subpar lineups that are uneventful, uninteresting, and don't do anything to help grow their brand in a brand extension phase that they're still in?
I say it's good heat that they keep it going, that they don't cancel. Now, believe it or not, I don't know how closely you'll follow MMA like months ahead, but if there are major dropouts from the main card that's being planned months in advance, they will cancel it. UFC 147 was once UFC 148, and they just moved everything back a number. But whenever you get closer to a card, a couple of weeks, I don't know that it's best to completely cancel it, because the UFC and Zuffa altogether have by far the largest roster of fighters in the world, and they're all top names, and you can easily bump someone up, and everyone's always going to want to fight. But also they need consistency. Once they start promoting an event like crazy, it's a lot more difficult to cancel than a boxing card. Even boxing cards don't get canceled that often. You'll look at a card like Affliction Trilogy. I don't know if you remember that, from August of 2009. It was presented by that clothing company, Affliction. Josh Barnett, nailed for steroids. He's out. So it's Fedor versus TBA. Well, 24 hours later, the whole event is canceled. Why? Because the roster lacked depth. That would have had severe effects on the buy rate. But with UFC, they can handle the blow, and it will be a very minor one. Good heat, they keep going. Drew?
I agree 100%. As much as it sucks to get fights canceled that you were looking forward to for a long time, you can't just cancel the show. They set these dates up long times in advance, so canceling a show would burn a bridge with the arena. People make plans with their friends to go to bars and do things. The Alton Bell Casino recently started airing UFC pay-per-views on kind of a big screen. That it just screws up all sorts of stuff. Subpar cards are, no fun to watch, but I think it's a necessary evil sometimes. Better some fights than no fights. Good heat, gotta keep going. Show goes on.
I'm agreeing with you guys. The show must go on.
Wait, did we had mostly good heats today?
Yeah, we did.
That's incredible.
Sabu.
Sabu pretty much fucked that up.
Yeah.
Sabu killed it.
Yeah. But
Well, I try to put diversity in there,
Yes. And I've got to say also, people underestimate the power of bros worldwide. When a group of bros in their polos that are usually pink or some Easter egg color go out to a bar and they hear that the fights are on, bro, it doesn't matter. That $5 is coming out for that cover. They're going to be drinking Bud Lights all night, and they're going to be making the UFC and that bar some money by watching whatever fights are put in front of them, because you cannot underestimate the power of bros worldwide.
Bros, I was asked to join that group.
It's now an LLC.
I had to join. I'm sorry, I had to decline.
Oh.
I had to decline. Drew.
Yes, sir.
Updates. Ring of Honor. Well, wait. Your cherry has just been popped. Good heat, X-Pac heat, as an official member of the crew.
Yeah, it's you guys were gentle. It didn't hurt too bad, and I appreciate it. I'd like to do it again, actually.
Well, yeah, you are a part of the team now. What's going on with Ring of Honor? Any updates?
I have minor updates, and that is actually only one. Michael Elgin has defeated Fit Finlay in what was kind of a slower paced match after the MMA hybrid match. They threw out a traditional, slow, old school kind of match, and won by Michael Elgin, who I think is on his way up. This is going to be a big year for him. He's had a great match against Davey Richards on a pay-per-view, and followed it up with a pretty good victory over a legend tonight. So,
yeah, and I think that
hold on 1 second. Wait,
I think that whenever it comes to our guest right now, I believe we have Duane Gill on the phone. Is that right, Mike?
He's on hold.
Big business, people.
Yes.
Get excited.
That's right. We're extremely excited here on Party Animal Radio. We are having the monumental for 1000th Raw episode ever here in St. Louis, and I am proud to have on the line right now our guest host for that night, Duane Gill. Mr. Gill, how you doing today?
Hey, how you doing today?
We're doing awesome. It is beautiful weather here in St. Louis. We understand that. Where are you calling in from today?
I'm calling from Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, it must be very, very dry out there.
Oh, man. Well, maybe not tonight. The monsoons are supposed to come in tonight. And I see clouds coming over the mountains as we speak.
Well, Mr. Gill, it is our pleasure to have you in town for the 1000th Raw episode to guest host our huge after party. I think that you as a guest host pretty much encompasses almost 1,000 episodes of Raw. You've been a part of WWF, WWE, WCW. Tell us a little bit about Duane Gill as the professional wrestler, where it kind of started, and how it evolved into, I guess, the early years of the WWE.
Yeah, well, actually, I was a super duper fan. Like, of course, 99% of us wrestlers are.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it my whole life, believed everything was 100% legit. 90% of my life. So, and then my tag team partner, Barry Hardy,
Mm-hmm.
he used to watch. We used to live side by side, is what it was, in an apartment complex, and I loved wrestling. He didn't like it at all. Every time I'd say, "Come on, man, let's watch wrestling," that fake stuff. And man, it's not fake. Shut up, man. And I would go watch it. Well, he got married. I got married. We moved apart, and lo and behold, about 2 years later, I'm watching TV, and there's Barry. I go, "What the heck?" So I called his mom, and she said, "Oh, Duane, that's pre-recorded. He's home," and gave me his phone number. I lived about a half mile from him. Didn't even know it.
Oh, wow.
And I called him up. He was like, "Dude, I've been looking all over for you. I got a ring in my basement. Come on, man, you want to learn?" I went, "I'll be there in 5 minutes." And I started that night. And
right on that.
Very Hardy. Go ahead.
Oh no, you guys were known as the Lords of Darkness. Is that correct?
Yep, Lords of Darkness. Yes, sir, buddy. We held, probably 15 different independent titles. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, he took me up, introduced me to Larry Sharp in the Monster Factory, and Larry Sharp is the one who sent me to WWF the first time. Because Larry Sharp used to be in charge of the extras, or jobbers as they were called back in those days.
Right.
And that's how it started, you know? I mean, I knew my job. My job was to go out and make people look good, and that's what I did.
Absolutely. Now that kind of evolved into the Lords. You guys later became the second version of the Executioners. Took part in a 40-man battle royal. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that. Jumping into WWF, as I guess what you called a jobber, they also called it enhancement talent. Tell me a little bit about jumping into WWF.
Because people are sensitive now, is what it is.
Right.
I don't want to be called no jobber. Well, you doing the job? Yeah. Okay. Rest my case. You know what I mean?
Right.
Look, you get paid what you're going to get paid no matter what. So, I mean, I love this sport with every fiber in my body. It's everything to me, man. And, for somebody to tell me it's fake, okay, dig my foot out of your ass. Excuse my expression, but... No.
That's what's great here. Duane, can I call you Duane?
Yeah.
Okay. That we're totally uncensored here. It's you're on the #1 underground radio station on the planet, partyanimalradio.com, 100% uncensored. So feel free to let it fly.
Okay, good. All right, good.
Now,
man, made a major faux
no.
Yeah, and then we actually said, to Tony Gurria and Rene Goulet and Chief and them, hey, can we bring back the Executioners so that way we can work twice as much? And they're like, hell yeah, bring them back. So we came up the next week with the executioner outfits, and then we started going crazy because then we had the pain and agony tights and the skull mask and everything.
So you guys kind of went to town on that one, huh?
Yeah, we did, because, I mean, we did a lot of house shows for WWE as the executioners. Like, we went on 6-month tours against the Samoans, against the Bushwhackers, against Steiners, against Smoking Guns. You know what I mean? We were out there against all the tag teams on the house shows on the B tour.
So you guys were basically like, you would go from town to town 6-7 nights a week. We had Honky Tonk Man on the show not too long ago, actually back in November. And, he was just telling us about, 78 or 100 and something days consecutive on the road. Tell me a little bit about the schedule back then and how it's totally different from today.
Oh, yeah, it's 28 days on, 5 days off. 28 days on, 5 days off. Yes, sir, buddy. And the 5 days off might be 2 days, here, and then 10 more days, and then 3 days off, and then 15 more days, and then, you know what I mean?
Right. So
it's a grueling schedule. And Barry and I were basically, we did everything contracted wrestlers did, but we weren't contracted. You understand what I mean?
Right. So you guys were basically free agents, but you guys
exactly. And we actually made more money that way than if we were contracted wrestlers, because sometimes people wouldn't show up. Hey, I got the executioner in here. All right, go. And you get to wrestle twice.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's double pay, baby.
Absolutely. You got to look at it every way possible. So, let's jump a little bit forward. After you left the WWF the first time, you came back in 1998. As Mankind's mystery opponent. Now we played that intro last week when we announced that you were going to be the guest host for the 1000th Raw after party here in St. Louis. Tell me a little bit about the build up for that. Did you help Vince McMahon with the writing of that, or was that totally all him? Tell me a little bit about.
You know the truth about that?
Oh yes.
The truth about that was I was working for the Board of Education. And I was coaching, football, the little kids' football and everything.
Right.
And I got a phone call when I was at work one day. And Rich Myers, I don't know if you remember him, but he used to be up there a lot with me, too. And he was working with me. I said, hey, Rich, that's WWF, man. I said, wouldn't that be cool if they wanted me to come up, baby, give me a title and make me a champ? And he's like, yeah. So I answered the phone, and it's Howard Finkel. And he says, hey, Duane, how you doing? I said, hey, Howard, how you doing? He said, all right. He said, look, Vince told me find Duane Gill. I found Duane Gill. Now, can you come up here on this date and this date, which was, October 20th or something like that?
I don't have the date right in front of me. It says
anyway.
Okay, Survivor Series, so I'm guessing November.
Yeah. So I said, all right, yeah, I'll be there, but that's a pay-per-view. He said, I don't know, Duane. I said, I never work on pay-per-views. He says, I know, but he just wants you up here. I said, okay, you got it. So I flew up, and he said, and they said, look, and what we'll do is we'll let you come to Raw the next night, so that way you make 2 days' pay, all right? And I was like, yeah, cool. And they said, all right, see you there. So I flew up, and I'm sitting there. It was actually 2 hours before my match. In comes Mick and goes, hey, Duane, what's up? I said, not much. Mick, how you doing, buddy? He said, why ain't you dressed? I said, for what? He said, well, they are keeping it as a secret, aren't they? I said, what? He goes, you're my mystery opponent, dude. And I'm like, no way. He goes, yep, you're him. I was like, oh, shit, I guess I better get dressed, huh? So he said, yeah, get dressed. I got dressed, and they're like, wear your football shirt out. I was like, cool, thank you. The kids went nuts, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I was walking out, and, if you remember, when the pyro went off, I dropped down to the floor.
Right.
I really didn't know that was going on. That scared the shit out of me, man.
Wow.
And I hit the floor, and I looked up, and the fans are rolling, man. They're laughing so hard. And I got up, and I said, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen.
Right. So
Yeah.
they're just catching
really
you by
cool.
surprise, left and right there. Later,
Yeah,
you joined
it was really cool.
that must have been quite an experience there to not like. So basically,
Oh, yeah.
you showed up having no idea what you were going to do, and then they're like,
Exactly. And to be honest with you, to wonder what it's like for me up there, brother, I was the biggest mark there probably was out there when I learned how to wrestle and got to go sit in the locker room with all them guys. It was the highest honor, man. I mean, to tell you, to be sitting there, you know what I'm saying?
absolutely. Absolutely. Coming from somebody who's been a fan all my life as I have, it's surreal. I've gotten the opportunity to go out and hang out at a few WrestleManias with a good friend, Evan Bourne of mine, from here in St. Louis. I've been very blessed.
I know, yeah.
To have that opportunity.
Great guy.
Absolutely. And, it's surreal to, look around and then, you're there hanging out next to, the Miz and his dad and, Vince McMahon's walking right by you in the hallway of the hotel. It's very surreal.
Yeah, the surreal part is, though, for me now, is anywhere in the world I go, if they're there, Vince would walk up to me, "Hey, Duane, how you doing? How's the family? How's it?" You know what I mean? It's unbelievable that all the people you idolized all those years, I was in the locker room with and was actually wrestling them.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I was like, call me a jobber, buddy. I'm in here with Randy Savage. I'm in here with Jake the Snake. Oh, you know what I mean? I'm in here, man, messing with the best of the best. I'm having a blast.
Absolutely. Now, who was the most fun for you to hang out with throughout your entire career of wrestling? Who was the most fun to be around outside of the job?
Well, to be honest with you, my partner, Barry Hardy, man. I love the guy to death. We basically lived together for 15 years. He was the most fun, but now if you're talking big names, I would say the Godfather, Viscera. Those guys are cool, man. They were like my friends, Quang, Luna, they're the people that I was associated with, and hung out with all the time. Paul Bear.
Yes. Percy Pringle, yep.
Kane, I'm trying to think of the ones.
Kane's another local boy, right here.
Undertaker.
All good guys, all great guys.
I'll be honest with you. I got Kane and Paul Bear to thank for the Gillberg gimmick.
What's that again?
Because we were bullshitting in the hallway one night, and I was telling them about stuff I was doing on the Independents, where I was making fun of all the boys. Like I did the Undertaker. I went out all like I was the Undertaker, but made fun of him. And then I did Stone Old. I had these big giant braces all made up and walked out with a walker and everything. And then I said, yeah, and then I did Gillberg, and they're like, oh, Gillberg. Oh, my God, you look like him too, Gil. I said, yeah, and then Paul Bear, oh, Duane, I think you've got something there, buddy. And I was already contracted as Duane Gill and won the title as Duane Gill. I was in the job squad.
Right. So,
so the rest of the night, every time I walk by them, they're going, Gillberg, Gillberg. And I'd laugh. And the next day, they have lunch. They have it set out. So I go in there, and I'm getting ready to eat, and all of a sudden, all the boys start going, Gillberg, Gillberg. So, of course, I turned around. Everybody laughed, and I thought that was it. And we did the TVs and on. 2 days later, I get a call from the office. You are now Gillberg. And I made up everything he did. Everything he did, like the rock concert where I was dancing around and all.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted me just to stand there and tap my foot and snap my fingers. I said, man, we're making fun of the guy. Let me dance all around and everything. And my whole thing was always to try and crack rock up.
Right.
And if you notice on it, when he's singing and he goes, and your mama's a hoe, I stopped and looked right at him and was like, ooh, he had to cover the mic up, and I go, "You son of a bitch," and then went back to it. You know what I mean?
So working, you got to work with the Rock. You got to work with Steve Austin, Mankind, Mick Foley.
I worked with everybody.
Everybody. Who was the most fun to work with inside the ring?
Taker.
Why is that?
Taker was actually the smoking guns were a lot of fun, and so were the shrinkers. Head shrinkers, freaking the bushwhack. Man, we had blast, man. I mean, the bushwhackers. We used to put on 25-minute matches and just laugh the whole time. I mean, those guys were great. Those guys are great. I guess the most let's say back and forth battle, like we're going for the titles, we're going to win, was against the Smoking Guns.
Right.
Man, we started out first match on the tour. By the end of the tour, we were main event. The matches were unbelievable, dude. I mean, unbelievable. We had some great matches with them guys. Those guys.
You're talking, these are house shows, correct?
Heart to gold, man.
Absolutely.
What'd you say?
These were house show matches, correct?
Yeah, all house shows. Yep, all house shows. I've got tons of posters like that we saw in stores where it said the Executioner's verse. And, and when it was back when Typhoon was taking on Yoko and all that. We were on those tours.
Awesome. If you're just tuning in with us right now, we're with Duane Gill, also known maybe as Gillberg to some of our listeners out there. He is going to be joining us here in St.
The man, the myth.
The man, the myth, the legend, Gillberg.
In my own mind.
Well, it's quite an incredible experience that we get to have here in St. Louis, the 1000th ever Raw episode. It's going to be here in St. Louis on Monday, July the 23rd. And we're going to have...
I'll tell you, and I am strictly honored that you called and asked me to come up. Because, I like I say, I love the business, and I was on probably the first 3 years of Raw every week.
And look, I want to talk about some other Raw moments that you were involved with. Tell me a little bit about your confrontation with Goldberg, the man, the myth, the legend, the man that you parried the gimmick Gillberg off of. Have you guys had a confrontation? Have you guys?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think Vince saved my ass. To be honest with you, I don't know if you know me. I'm a little guy, and Goldberg hates my guts, and when I first met him, I was in the locker room and all the boys were around, and I said, "I guess you've been waiting to meet me." And he looked down and he looked away and he went, "Oh yes, I have." Looked back down because he got to look down. He's a big son of a bitch.
Right.
And he goes, "Let me tell you something, little man. You got an ass whooping coming." So you're in my locker room. Of course, I'm gonna say, "Well, that's all right. You got balls. I'll hand them back to you after the match." And well, that didn't go over. So, I mean, I would have loved to have had that pay-per-view match. Everybody wanted to see it. But I think, to be honest with you, Mr. McMahon saved my ass. That's the only reason I can see he didn't have that match. Because he would have hospitalized me for sure. I consider myself a tough SOB, but when there's that big...
You think that he would? You think that he honestly would have made that?
I think he would have put me out of the business, brother.
Right. Okay.
I really do, but I would have took that match. I would have taken that match 100%, because that would have been a co-main event on a friggin' pay-per-view. And you as a fan, if you were a wrestler, you know what I mean. There's no way in hell, no matter what the risk, I would have turned that down. That's what we all dream for. That's what we all pray for, is to be a main event or co-main event on a pay-per-view. Buddy, man, that's the pinnacle. That's it.
I couldn't agree with you more. I can only imagine the feeling that it was going out in front of tens of thousands of people night after night after night, and truly the prime of wrestling throughout its history. How do you feel on that? You were part of the Attitude Era? I mean, you were there.
Exactly.
You were there.
I got the shirt, the heart attack, the Attitude, the whole deal. I was on all those tours, and it was such an honor to be part of it. Because, like I say, I'm a fan too.
Right.
It was a super, super honor to be part of it, and I only met 2 people, and I won't say names, in the business that I thought were assholes, you know?
Right.
As far as boys that are workers, that were complete assholes. Everybody else I ever met has been 100, and that goes from Vince McMahon to, you know, the nearest jobber, has always been so nice and so kind. But as you know, in our business, no matter how nice or how kind you are, if somebody gets hurt, you're ready to dive in that spot.
Absolutely.
You know, because that's the business. That's the bad part of our business. If you get hurt and you can't wrestle hurt, well, then there's a really good chance you're going to lose your spot, and there's 1 million people ready to dive into it.
Totally.
90% of the time, it's your best friend. You know what I mean? Because they all know him.
True words spoken by Mr.
You know,
Duane Gill.
It's the business. You just gotta take the business for what it is. And I love it. It's great, man. It really is. And you know, you're in where you know enough about the business, and you've been around it more than enough to know it's really a lot of fun.
I can see where the lifestyle is extremely addicting. The years that I spent a few years traveling, you know, throughout the weekends, weekend warring it up, a lot younger years. And, you know, it was a lot of fun being on the road. There is no substitute for it. To be in a different city every night, to basically, it's one incredible experience after another.
Mm-hmm. I'll agree with you 100%. And let me tell you, when I became Gillberg and had the light heavyweight title on, was doing independent matches, I would go out at intermission and probably do 100, 150 Polaroids. And I would tell everybody, at the end of the night, come to the ring, and I'll be standing right here signing autographs. And I never once not signed an autograph when somebody asked me. Because I don't know what some people think or whatever, but without a fan, this business is nothing. You need your fans. You must treat them with 100% respect at all times, whether you be a bad guy or a good guy. Without fans, there is no us.
Very well said, Duane. This is Ben Simon here on Ringsiders. If you're just joining us, we are joined by Duane Gill, better known as Gillberg, the man, the myth, the legend, as you've heard. So, Duane, we heard about your run-in with Goldberg and all that. Do you really think he had? Did he really have an agenda against you? He didn't think it was in good fun at all? I mean, in the name of entertainment?
Ask any of the boys that knew him down in WCW. They all used to tell me that son of a bitch wants to kill you. He don't get it. He don't get it. He don't get the joke. Especially when I came up with the dotted line.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, most people don't realize why was the dotted line there. Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because WCW owned the rights to Goldberg's tattoo.
Oh.
So what do they do if he gets fired? Cut his arm off, follow the dotted line. And that's what the dotted line was all about.
Well,
he hated that.
On July 23rd, for the Raw 1000 After Party presented by PartyAnimalRadio.com, we'll be at the Tin Can with yourself, Duane, hosting, and we hope to have a lot of names in attendance. Have you been contacted by WWE? Are you going to be on the 1000th episode of Raw, perchance?
Have not been contacted, I'll say yet. But, man, I am hoping.
Yeah.
I am hoping. God, it would be such an honor. You know?
Do you ever...
Just to go up, I mean, I'm I do have a little fame. I'm Gillberg. I'm the longest reigning light heavyweight champion in the history of WWF, and it can never be beaten. You know why?
It's not around anymore.
That's right. It's WWE now.
Well, and the light heavyweight title, it's not around. Yeah. Well, Duane, do you still work on the independent scene at all?
Occasionally. I'm getting up there in age. I still like to do a little Gaga match and have fun now and then. Mm-hmm. But I'm 53 now.
Are you still coaching that Pasadena Chargers team?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my son's 24 now. He was 9 years old when I was doing that.
I always remember that from the Vince McMahon speech.
But you know what's cool? That football team, I coached 75-pound A, 75-pound B, 90-pound A, 90-pound B, 105A, 105B. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we won the I coached them for 9 years. We won the championship, all-county championship, 8 of them, and 2 of the years we went undefeated.
Nice. Well, Duane...
That's just a little bragging right? I like my coaching, you know what I mean? Hey, you want to know another one?
Sure. One
of the kids off of that team is on the Indianapolis Colts.
Very nice. Who is that?
Mike Newton.
Okay, all right.
Number, I think he's 38, I think. Michael Newton. He's a safety.
Hitting the big time. Well,
yeah, I was so happy, man. Good.
Duane, what part of your career do you value most? Did you enjoy the most? The first part is part of the Executioners touring around with Barry Hardy, or the Gillberg fame?
I'll say I enjoy the Gillberg fame a lot more. I had the highest honor I've ever received in professional wrestling when I did Gillberg the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I did Gillberg the first time. I came back to the curtain, and I'll tell you what, every person, be it studio, wrestler, office, camera guy, whatever, was standing behind that curtain when I came back and was crying from the laughter, tears running down there. All the women had makeup running all over them, and they clapped. And I'm talking Vince, Miss McMahon, Shane, Stephanie, every one of them, man, were there. And they're like, oh, my God. And that was the highest honor in the world. And then I turn around, and Luna comes through the curtain and drops down to her knees and starts bowing. You know how a Japanese does it?
Yeah.
Showing respect. Man, I grabbed her, because, my first match was because they wanted me to wrestle Edge. I said, give me Luna. Come on, man. In real life, she'd probably kick my ass. And, if you knew Luna, she'd kick your ass. Like
one of the toughest women wrestlers there ever was.
And that's no lie. Her and Sherry Martel and Medusa. But anyway, and she bent down, and I picked her up, and I looked her right in her eye, man. And I said, Luna, don't you ever do that. You are my superior. Thank you for what you just did for me. You made me look good. She said, Duane, you just lost to a woman. I said, big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big deal. Listen to that crowd, man. Listen to that crowd. They're crying. They're laughing so hard. That's what it's supposed to do, hon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I am so broke up over her death. It really sucks. She was really, really, really one of the good ones.
Yeah. What was the most enjoyable story from the road? You were talking about traveling a little bit earlier on with Mike. I mean, we always hear about these different road stories and everything. Do you have anything funny you'd like to share with us?
Oh, here's a Raw story.
Oh, great.
I'm doing Monday Night Raw at the Manhattan Center, and I'm wrestling Bob Backlund.
All right.
And I got him in a short arm scissor. And I'm sitting there, and if you know what the short arm scissor is, it's where you're like sitting up on top of the shoulder, and he's right there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's breathing. And he's going, hit back, hit back, hit back. I thought he was saying hit me. So I'm slapping the shit out of him. And he's punching me right back in the face. And I'm like, what the hell, man? That hurts. Hit back. Pow! Hit him again. Pow! I got hit again. I'm like, what the hell, man? He's not getting to knock me out on that one. I'm like, what the hell? So then he rolls over and he picks me up. He picks you up and then sets you on the corner. And then, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I did that and everything. We did the match. I went back in the back. He comes up and he says, hey, Gil, what the fuck, man? I said, what do you mean? He goes, you're out there paintbrushing my ass, man. He said, slapping the shit out of me. I said, Bob, you kept telling me to hit you. He said, what? I said, you kept on hitting me. He goes, man. I said, he goes, you stupid son of a bitch. I was breathing. I was going, hip-bah, hip-bah. I said, oh, sorry. Now, that's funny. Especially when you're in the locker room with all the boys that knew what I was doing. I bet he's thinking he's saying hit me.
We're here with Duane Gill, also known as Gillberg, here on Ringsiders with Ben Simon, Mikey G. Duane, do you have it? I know you've been out of the wrestling scene for a while, but is there anything? We're going to talk about the Raw 1000 after party in a bit, but is there anything you'd like to promote for yourself?
Oh, just the school. We got Gillberg's Pro Wrestling Academy in Baltimore, Maryland. Oh. It's 410-969-8077. Been open 2.5 years. No, this is the beginning of our third year, July 10th.
Do you guys have a website?
2 years. It's on Facebook. Go to Facebook.com/Gillberg's Academy.
Awesome. Well, on July 23rd, we will be joined by Gillberg. He's going to be the host of the Raw 1000 after party. You're not going to want to miss that one. That's going to be after the biggest Raw of all time right here in St. Louis at the Tin Can on Locust Street. And, Duane, what can I say? Thank you so much for joining us today, and thanks for being a part.
Thank you so much for having me. And I can't wait to see you guys and party it up, man. We're going to have a hell of a radio show that night.
Hell yeah. Well, we'll see you July 23rd, Duane. Thanks for joining us.
You got it, brother. Party Animal Radio all the way.
All right. Man, that was awesome, Mike. Are you plugged in right now?
I'm right. Is my microphone on?
Yes, it's on.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Man, I'm really looking forward to that. That interview got me pumped up. July 23rd.
Oh, yes.
Party Animal Radio's Raw 1000 after party. It's going to be a great event.
I can't wait for it. Just hearing the excitement in Gillberg's voice, just like you can tell how honored he is to be a part of this business, to be here in St. Louis, and I really can't wait to meet him.
Yeah, he seems like a very genuine guy as well. He's not going to play games.
Right.
We know guys who play games.
Well, what was awesome was when I called him to try to book this to begin with, I could just hear how excited he was when we were talking about it. Mm-hmm. And then to actually hear his interview and hear his stories and stuff like that. I'm gonna be honest. There's not a whole. I didn't know a whole lot about Duane Gill.
Not a lot of people know a lot about Duane Gill.
No, but now I feel like I do, and I'm glad that I do because he sounds like a really good dude to know a lot about.
Drew, you're gonna be joining us on July 23rd at Raw 1000 after party.
Wouldn't miss it.
It's gonna be
and
awesome.
That interview is a perfect example of the kind of stuff that I'd like to be doing here for Ringsiders. Those are the kind of stories and those are the kind of interviews that show you a little bit more about the person and you get to know him a little bit. And if you don't like Duane Gill a little more after hearing that, you're a crazy person.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? For early part of his career, we all know about the jobber Duane Gill, and everybody likes to buff up their history. But with him and Barry Hardy on the house show scene, I didn't know anything about that. That was you always learn something new with these Ringsiders interviews. And we thank you for joining us every Sunday for that. You know what? Let's take a break. My computer's dead, so I can't reference anything more else. But
and then you're freaking out right now, aren't you?
We still, a little bit, but we still have plenty more to go. Is Best in the World, is that still going on? I know Richards and Steen still to come. Probably.
It is still to come. I can do a quick update, or we can wait until we come back from the break.
What do you want to do, Mike? After the break, we'll do an update?
You guys, whatever you want to do.
Apathy. We are Team Apathy.
All right, we'll take a break now then.
All right.
And be back.
All right. Well, stay tuned. More Ring of Honor Best in the World to come. And, who knows? We might get someone from Ring of Honor calling in as well.
That's what I'm trying to... We just had that on my phone. So Briscoe just texted me back. He's like, sorry, dude, we had a tape shift for DVD. But I asked him to come on at 5:30 and it's 6:30, so...
Yeah. Well, yeah, and everybody's schedule, it's so difficult to mesh together when we have a major card like this, as I was saying earlier. But we'll see what we can do. And we'll be right back here on Ringsiders in just a bit with Ben, Mikey, and Drew.
Gene Okerlund. All right, thank you, Tony Schiavone, Lord Alfred Hayes. The action, fast and furious, and still to come. World Wrestling Federation champion Hulk Hogan to defend against this man, challenger and former champion, along with his manager, Sensational Sherry. I could only be talking about the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
I've held that belt before. The former World Wrestling Federation champion is the Macho Man, Randy Savage. And in a few seconds, I'm going to say it again. I'm the new World Wrestling Federation champion. I'm the one man that can beat Hulk Hogan. And I'm right here in London, England. Yeah, I'm right here in London, England, and I'm looking right in the video scope. And I'm telling everybody that I guarantee victory. I guarantee victory over Hulk Hogan because the madness is better than the mania. And that's something.
I don't know if you heard it earlier on in talking to the World Wrestling Federation champion Hulk Hogan. He asked Miss Elizabeth what she would do if she got her hands on you, and she said she'd slap your face.
Ooh, well, is that what she said? Sensational Sherry, you must have a message for Miss Elizabeth. Go ahead.
Elizabeth, come on down. Try to put your hands on the Macho Man, and I'm gonna rip everything out of that scrawny little body of yours, and the Macho Man will again remain WWF champion again.
I think we're getting a little sidetracked here. Back to the business at hand, and that being your challenge of Hulk Hogan's title.
Hulkamania is dead after tonight. Macho Madness, sky's the limit. 1, 2, 3, Hulk Hogan. I'm number 1, and you're numbers 2. Sensational Sherry, in all our glitter and all our glamour and all our glory. Let's go down that aisle. Isn't she beautiful? Isn't she stunning?
Oh, yes, indeed. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Still to come, tonight's main event here on the Superstars of the World Wrestling Federation, live from the London Arena here on Sky One. Stay tuned.
You are back inside the ring on Ringsiders.
Welcome back to Ringsiders on PartyAnimalRadio.com. Ben, Mikey, and Drew here to close out the last half hour or so of this great show so far. I mean, we just had...
We're getting down to the nitty-gritty, Ben Simon.
Yes, we are. We just had Duane Gill on the show. That was quite an interview, I must say.
Well, it was an awesome interview. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And it's very refreshing to see somebody that's been that deep in the business that still loves it so much and is so much of a fan.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to bring up an impromptu segment. Perhaps we can turn it into a weekly feature.
I'm just kidding.
What? What? No, I'm not asking someone about their fantasy title reigns or whatever. I know you hate that.
No, I don't hate that.
You're not doing that.
I think it's entertaining.
All right. This is called Drew's Weekly Indie Roundup.
Whoa.
Hey, Drew. So I hear you've been going to the shows this weekend, huh?
I did indeed.
I heard you wasted some time.
Wasted some time.
Time.
I didn't say that, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, we don't know what promotion you went to go see last night in the Gillberg.
Indeed. Yes, MECW, Metro East Championship Wrestling, and it's a good stuff there. I like MECW. It's very refreshing. It's
Mecwa.
Mecca.
All right, that works. They probably won't go with that, but It's good stuff. It's a good show. You see something a little different than you normally see at a lot. They have a cool little venue.
Really shitty wrestling.
Oh, not cool.
No. Don't. Okay, I'm sorry. Anybody that rips off and uses a WWE title belt as their championship belt and like puts tape over it or some shit, not even worth, like, nobody should pay to go see that. That is a backyard. My backyard wrestling promotion had better belts than that. Now that's all I'm saying.
Which
Hey, I'm sorry.
Which
am I wrong?
Title belt is it that they use?
They use the fucking Eagle one.
Oh, like the 90.
I like
the
that
88
belt a lot,
to 98
so
belt.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna gripe about the Eagle belt.
No, the Eagle belt is awesome. But you shouldn't try to charge people to come in the door to watch you wear some fucking old overalls that you got on that don't fit you anymore, and like go around and then fake touch your buddy, like and charge people to come into that shit. That's not cool.
Maybe we should change the segment to Mikey G's weekly indie rant.
No. I mean, come on. Really?
I don't know.
I agree to an extent.
I don't have a beef with the belt thing. If you're going to rip something off, rip off the best, right?
No,
it's
come on,
it's
dude.
better than how many indie places do you see
no,
that have? Oh, we're debuting a new belt, but they only had $60 to spend on it, so they got some piece of crap.
Right, exactly. Don't fucking run a promotion if you got $60 to spend on a belt. All right,
that's a whole.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Or save up for a belt and don't have a belt your first.
That's exactly.
But okay,
that's a different rant. MECW.
That's why fists use cups. All right, that's what I'm saying.
Fair enough. MECW is sad.
Okay.
Okay, and to be honest, that is the only local promotion I have never been to.
That's what he said. That's what he said last
stop
week.
it. It's not happening.
That's what you said, and you said I haven't been there, and I said don't waste your time.
Yes,
I have announced
I did not
for
say
6
that.
different promotions.
I've not
even
they've
been
switched
to
it up a little bit since maybe any of you guys went there. Bailey Mannix is doing good stuff. Shorty Biggs is on the card. Chris Logan.
Wait, what did you say? Bailey Mannix is doing what?
Settle down.
Good stuff.
Shorty Biggs is on the card. Chris Logan, Shogun, out of the Chicago area, is on the card. He's good. Eric Allen is back. They debuted a new tag team called the Dragons, which I believe are also from Chicago. There's a lot of talented guys over there. Mike Anthony, I'm a big fan of.
I don't want to rip him too hard, but I think I just did. Did I rip him really hard?
Rip away.
No, did I?
I don't.
Did I rip too hard on him?
Not really.
Good.
As a diplomatic,
you're honest, I think you should come to their show.
Everybody,
I did. Go see MECW.
No, I went there when fucking Honky Tonk Man, when we brought him up there, and no, man. Like, I went to go see one of their shows one time, somehow I was in that building once before when there was wrestling going on. It's just, I don't know. I'm all about atmosphere. Like, I am embarrassed looking back at the Fist wrestling shows. Like, I was like, why did I even do this? Like, this is everything that I didn't like about indie wrestling. Like, the lights are on. There's like a big area, like, it's not about the atmosphere, like there's no point to the matches. But there was, I mean, like, whatever.
My only beef with MECW not going to any card at all is their lack of promotion outside of like the venue. I mean, I guess they have posters posted around there, but I had no way of knowing.
What is the point of a business? What is the point of a business? To not lose money? Okay, or to profit money, because that's what the main fuck up with indie promotions is that they don't see what a business should be there to create profit, to create jobs, that sort of thing. And with the business model of most indie promotions, it's, hey, make enough money so we can take our ring from our fucking backyard into, this VFW hall that we paid $200 a rent, and hopefully enough money comes through so we can all pay for our gas that it took to get here. Like, that's what an indie promotion is. Is that the right way to do things? I'm not here to answer one way or another, but I would, I just think it's kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't spend my money there.
It's kind of
Drew, would you go back? Would you recommend it to people?
Sure, absolutely. I also forgot to mention Brandon Espinosa and Ace Hawkins were also on the card. So good stuff. It's a lot of talented guys, and I think they're switching it up a little bit. it may be a little different than the MECW that you remember. Worth a try. Everybody come and check it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a small venue though.
Go to hell, Mike.
It gets very loud in there. That's my only kind of gripe. If 2 or 3 people are drunk and really loud, the sound really holds and it's hard to talk to people.
Don't you want it to be loud though?
Yes, but I like to be able to speak to the person next to me.
Look, we don't talk.
It's in the middle somewhere. I'm getting.
We don't talk about Bellator.
Off
We don't. We
subject,
barely talk about Strikeforce. All we talk about is UFC. Why? Because it's the creme de la creme. That's all we should talk about in indie wrestling. I'm sorry. That's fine. Let's do it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I like to put my stamp of approval on like the best of the best.
I can understand it.
Right?
Sure.
St. Louis Anarchy, Dynamo,
Those guys are
Crondelet in that order, right? Am I forgetting a good one?
Sure.
No.
Wait, what was your list?
Anarchy, Dynamo, Crondelet.
I like it. Rank them. Top 3.
Top 3. Let's see.
Indies.
Oh,
Go
God.
around the thing. I'm going last because I need to think about it.
Oh my God. Oh, and I don't.
He's about to lose some jobs over here. You can't make him do that.
Your brain operates a little quicker than mine, I think. So.
Simply because of the drawing capabilities. I don't like the apathy, but certainly because of the drawing capabilities and because of where I started. My bias says South Broadway, the MMWA. After that,
on the Missouri side of things, the Tim Miller run.
Yes,
Tony
I consider
Cassidy
them
action.
2 separate entities at this point.
Fair enough.
I think anyone who acknowledges that there's still one promotion is living in the past.
You're ranking that as number 1?
Because of the drawing capabilities.
Who?
South Broadway.
Okay.
I wish the apathy was gone.
Like, I could argue for South Broadway being the number 1 promotion because of its longevity.
There's different reasons you can go by for or against, but booked.
And he also ring announces there and doesn't want to lose his job.
Well, I ring announce everywhere. If it was just a little bit booked, a little more succinctly, it'd be excellent. Just superb.
But they're always excellent, by the way. Everybody come to South Broadway Athletic Club on the second Saturday of every month.
Yeah, so it's July 14th. Christmas in July.
Hey, we in 7 minutes we're having Roderick Strong on the show.
Nice. Are you interviewing him?
No, I don't watch the show. So you got to interview him.
Okay.
And want to catch up on Best in the World?
Yes, I would love to.
Let's do that. We had after the Michael Elgin and Elgin or Elgin? Elgin.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
BS knows. No BS with BS.
That's right. After that match, you had Mike Mondo and Mike Bennett in an impromptu match.
That's not really the best in the world right there, if you ask me.
Mikey!
Not so much. Mike Mondo called him to get Bennett into the match, and I quote, he says, "I want to fight, and I want to fight you, Mike Bennett, and after I fight you, I'm going to fuck you," referring to Maria Kanellis, of course.
Oh, okay.
I'm
glad you didn't
add the end part. I made it sell that.
Awesome.
But, the match was won by Mike Mondo via a roll-up on Mike Bennett. Followed up by the triple threat match, Roderick Strong, Tommaso Ciampa, and Jay Lethal.
Now here's what we want to hear.
This is good stuff. It's the match you expected. A lot going on, very busy stuff.
We're about to have Roderick Strong on the show.
Well,
so let's get smartened up.
Roderick Strong is, in fact, still the Ring of Honor television champion.
I'm glad I picked the right one out of the 3 of those guys.
What about Truth Martini and Embassy Limited? Did their collusion or perceived collusion get involved in any way? I mean, we've seen that on the show, running in on matches. Nana went in.
Indeed.
Got Ciampa disqualified a couple weeks ago.
Truth Martini stuck his nose in it, tried to distract some stuff. Your nemesis, Prince Nana, came out and tried to get involved, but... Roddy Strong keeping the belt.
Yes.
The embassy did not get the job done today.
Yes.
Since we're learning this all via words and not video.
Yes, I'm reading that, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you know how? Well, just us. Do you know how he won the match? Like what?
Roderick Strong hits Jay Lethal with a devastating backbreaker.
Devastating backbreaker.
that was the exclamation point on all of the shenanigans there.
Well, we'll be talking to Roderick Strong in just a few moments.
Yeah, indeed.
Ring of Honor TV champion, and we'll see if he's hammered this time. Probably not.
Anybody know how long his title reign's been? It's been he's had that for a good minute.
Well, I'd look it up right now, but my computer is dead.
All right.
So it's just me and a desk.
Info coming.
Yes. Drew is also our research for the day. He does an amazing job, I must say. So.
I'm reading something I love reading things about DJs, and I'm reading something about DJs right now. It has nothing to do with our show.
Get your head in the game, Mike.
Tune back into Ringsiders here on Party Animal Radio. Mike Gordon.
My God, the hosts don't care. Why should you?
I'm not the host. I am just part of this fucking shit show.
You are a co-host. You are on the air, thus you are a host. You're the man. I may get top billing, but you are a host for sure.
Yeah, I don't even want to be.
You're the best damn producer, and proving it today.
No, I'm the best damn producer on PartyAnimalRadio.com on Sundays from 5 to 7, but that's it.
Okay. We'll call it fair.
Oh, you don't have to call it fair.
Permission to rant for about 2 minutes.
Sure. Hopefully he gets on the phone soon, because we only have a
Well, yeah, he said call me with 5 minutes left in the show.
Okay.
Because I was like, hey, do you got 5 minutes?
The owner will let us go a little late if we have to, right?
I know the guy, and he's kind of strict on shit. He's going to want us to pay more for our time slot.
But we can do that because we're ballers. So,
speak for yourself. I'm broke as a joke, and the girl that I poke thinks that I'm a jerk.
Man, I thought that last
deep.
word was going to rhyme, but you already used joke, so jerk is another J word in its place.
Right. Actually, it's a lyric to one of my Beach Bum Alcoholic songs.
Oh. Well, I'll be damned.
I'll be damned. Which, by the way, I have a big birthday party coming up on Sunday, July 6th. Come on out. Watch. For local wrestling fans, Rat Boy is the lead singer of this band called Without Motherfucking Order. They're going to be playing my birthday show on Friday, July 6th. Actually, it's technically Saturday, July 7th at midnight. So we're just saying Friday, July 6th at 11:59 p.m. It's at Lemons, 5800 Gravoy Road. Coming out there, if you like hardcore wrestling, he pretty much just goes out there and beats the shit out of himself, and you can partake in the beating the shit out of him. Rat Boy, what was his other name? Heart Attack Jack. Gotta love that.
Oh, that's great.
So
you wanted to rant?
Ranting Drew.
Just a heads up for people who feel like hunting things down on the internet. The new season of WWE's NXT. Debuted, I guess you can say, this week, but they don't have a distributor of any kind here, and they don't put it on their website anymore, so you have to go find it. But
wait, okay,
how do they want you to find it? Why do they produce it?
Wait, if they don't, why do they not want us to find it? I know they took it off their website, but I assumed it was still there somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good question, and maybe Evan Bourne will be able to answer that for us if we ever talk to him here.
That's stupid.
I don't know, but it was actually quite good. It was at a new location, Full Sail University. You had the Bo Dallas, who is Bo Rotundo, debuted and looked pretty good. The Ascension, pretty neat little tag team. They have like a vampire brood, Undertaker-y kind of thing going on. They aired a vignette for the upcoming Bray Wyatt, formerly known as Husky Harris, formerly known as, was it Duke? Duke Rotunda?
I thought it was Wyndham Rotunda.
That's his real name, but him and his brother went by. It was Bo, and I want to say he went by Duke.
Oh, that sounds right.
Don't yell at me, people, if I'm wrong. But anyway, NXT
I do not question your intelligence.
Was quite good, and the main event was Tyson Kidd versus Joe Hennig or Michael McGillicuddy, and they had about 15 minutes to have a really, really good match. So it's interesting. WWE doesn't have a show quite like that, and I think it was very good. So check it out.
And they don't want you to see it, so that makes you want to see it even more. Don't find it.
Shit.
Are you a McGilla buddy?
I am not a McGilla buddy.
Take that. It's ringing.
All right.
I'm gonna pass the torch to interviewer extraordinaire, Grandmaster Benjamin Simon.
All right. So we're trying not to choke myself here with this cord. All right. Roddy, are you there? You're on Ringsiders Party. Oh, Okay. We had some audio problems there. We couldn't hear him. I think he's on now. He told us to hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm on. I'm on with Roderick Strong here on Ringsiders, PartyAnimalRadio.com. Roddy, can you hear us?
I can hear you. I had to go outside. It's loud.
All right.
All Night Express just beat the Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team, so the place is fucking exploding.
Oh, man. All Night Express over World's Greatest Tag Team. The place is going wild. That's crazy. I actually picked
new tag champs?
Yes, indeed.
Big news.
ANX.
You're hearing it first.
Exactly.
Right here on Ringsiders.
Now, just a little bit ago, we saw that you retained your TV title in that three-way match. Talk a little bit about that match and this perceived collusion between Embassy Limited and The Truth.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, all I know is Truth said he had stuff taken care of to make sure I hold on to that title. I can obviously hold my own in the ring, but, you know, when you're a champion, everyone's gunning for you. So to get a couple people off your back obviously makes it a little bit easier. And if you saw the match, you saw I tried to pick and choose my spots and let those guys beat up on each other a little bit. And obviously it worked because in the end, only the strong survived, obviously.
Well,
unintended.
And congratulations, Roderick Strong, still the Ring of Honor television champion, holding that now for, I guess, 3-4 months now. What's next for you? I mean, are you ditching Truth? What's next for Roderick Strong?
What's next for me is next weekend in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I wrestle Kevin Steen for the world title. If he beats Davey tonight, or I wrestle Davey for the 150th time, and I beat him again. So in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I become the first person other than Bryan Danielson to hold 2 belts in this company.
Very nice. Well, I mean, we don't have a lot of time left here on Ringsiders, but is there anything else you'd like to pump for us or pump for yourself?
Well, I want to tell you a quick story about this.
Sure.
This massage parlor behind the Hammerstein, where one of the guys went and got a massage earlier based on him having a back injury.
Oh, yeah.
And 1 hour later, 15 cop cars pull up and arrest them for prostitution. So that is the story I would like to leave everybody with. Special massages all day long at the Asian massage parlors.
It seems like there's always something going down when we talk to you. I mean, it's only been once before, but I'm sure we'll be talking to you again. So this was a massage parlor in New York?
Yeah, I'm staring at it right now.
Are there cop cars there now?
No, they were there earlier.
Oh, okay.
They came and arrested some people, so.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for the update, Roderick Strong, Ring of Honor TV champ still, and we will talk to you again later soon.
All right, brother.
All right, thank you, sir.
See you later, bye.
Mike, did you hear that?
I was catching on to it, like, because we got like a 30-second delay, so I wasn't really able to hear all of it, but I could catch on it from what you were saying. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Roddy.
There's a massage parlor got busted.
That prostitution, 15 cop cars.
Yeah. I'm glad he shared that with us. I wouldn't think to say, hey, you know, what kind of criminal activity is going up there in New York? So, yeah. It's been a good show today, guys. I've enjoyed it. And,
So, wait. Okay, so All Night Express finally went... That's their first...
That's what I heard. I haven't seen any reports. Once again, my computer is dead. According to Roderick Strong, which is a very credible source.
He's there.
Legit, and the crowd was going crazy. And that's why I couldn't hear him at the beginning. He had to go outside because the place was just, threshold of pain as far as sound goes. Yeah, Drew?
And was it the All Night Express that beat was it the American Wolves when they came here to town a few months back?
Back in November. November 6th.
He knows the All Night Express, and they've been having a good 6 months.
Yeah, you know, I think you're right.
I think I'm right too, but I'm not positive.
They haven't lost in 6 months.
ROH bots, don't beat me up.
I think what I'm gonna call them from now on is ANX. Because ANX, they say ANX all the time. So
I like the Express thing.
ANX.
Good memories of Express tag teams. So they're all we got.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Midnight Express, you got the Rock and Roll Express.
I guess that's about it.
You got the Panda Express.
Right.
Which has great Panda.
The Orient Express.
Freaking in love.
The Orient Express.
Orient Express.
Come on, you guys forgot that one for real?
No. I mean, who remembers the Orient Express?
Fucking me.
They had a match though at Tenryu and Katao, right?
Tanaka, right?
No.
Who else? We're hearing the feedback. Rock and Roll Express
every week.
Right. Oh well.
And Adrian Adonis and the Blue Meanie.
What express were they?
Billy Jim.
You're doing the Stern.
Yeah, which we should play every week.
We should. You want me to play it right now? You want me to play it to end the show today?
Yeah, we could. The world's greatest wrestling prank. Drew, you've heard this, haven't you?
I have indeed.
Have you heard it twice?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Ask me in 10 minutes.
Yeah. So this is a wrestling radio show. That's it for Ringsiders today. We'll get back with you next week with the full rundown of the card.
Sal and Richard put together.
And yeah, that's
I'm
it.
not gonna play it yet. Yeah. What are we gonna have next week? We gotta have a local wrestler.
Next week, I think we're gonna have the Wild World of Wrestling TV champion Dave Vaughn on the show. Very interesting interviews I've done with him. We're gonna see how that goes. But we might have some interesting things to say. He has a strange kind of awkward intensity. So we're gonna see if we can. I want to get. He seems like he's in a shell. I want to get the man out of his shell, and we're gonna try to do that next week.
We need to blow some weed in his face.
We're gonna.
That may get
That
it
is
done.
awful. That is an awful sound. And now my eardrums are exploding.
Alright.
Oh my god.
Wrap it up. All right. We're ready for the Stern prank.
All right. We'll see you next week right here on Ringsiders. For Ben, Mikey, Drew. Here we go. We'll see you next week.
Yep. I'm not even going to do like one of them fake.
I thought it was pretty good. They called a wrestling show. I didn't even know all these shows exist on the internet.
Yeah, you said this is an internet show.
Yeah. Internet radio.
The only thing that really saved WrestleMania from being a total disaster was The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. You got to be serious, you know. Let's be a little more serious about this matter.